All right, so I want to make this video on a supernova entry that looks like it might be valid, that isn't because of the overall bias of the day. So sometimes things look pretty juicy, and what they do is they follow some of the criteria for an entry, a supernova entry. And I want to go over this one trade. It was a perfect example of why you wouldn't take it and how sometimes trades can work out, but they're improbable. And in this case, the trade didn't work out, but it could have worked out. Like, I understand that. It's just that you have to start thinking of probability over 300 trades, and that will give you a better risk to reward and a better overall percentage of win rate. Okay. So I don't want to confuse things too much, but one of my rules for a supernova is it has to break the high of the range that you're trading in. Okay. It's pretty easy to do if you understand highs and lows. And, if need be, if people need practicing, they can use this tool here, right? Low, high to practice. Or if you're good enough and you can just see them already, that's great. But you have the overall narrative is pushed down today to the very bottom here. Okay. And then you have this you have this supernova here, one, two, three consecutive. And here you have the supernova entry that crosses over the 50. And then you can see it turns around and goes the other way. Okay. So um, the rule is it has to take the high out of the range or the low. And this would be the range right here. This high, right? Because it's made a low, a high, and here's the low here. So if they take a supernova, it has to break the high of this high right here, right? And it has to take out the low of either this low right here. And this is in my rule book that I'll be sending people. I'll put the low in here. Everybody understands what that is right here. This low here, which is this low right here. Okay. So price left, and you can see here on Oanda, it took out the highs. Okay. Now, I don't want to overcomplicate things. In futures, it didn't take the highs out, but it did on ES and NAS. So we won't get too much into that. But the importance here is I'm not even looking for a sell until it takes these highs out here. And you can see it did, and it put out a supernova. But I want to teach more of yes, it meets the entry, meets the criteria, but you have to remember that before you take any trade, the trade itself has to match a daily or say maybe a 4 hour bias we'll start with just for now of the day. And you can even see too, if you understand trends, that we were in a clear downtrend today, as well as this supernova here not working and getting stuffed out, potentially creating a lot of frustration because it's like, hey, these guys are teaching only take a supernova if it takes a high or a low of the range. This is the range you're trading in, and things should work out. As we know that, trading is never 100%. You can make money at it only being 40% of the time or 37% of the time. You can do quite well, actually. So we're going to go over this match a daily or 4 hour bias. Okay. And to understand this, you need to understand fair value gaps, or you need to have this feature here, fair value gap, I fair value gap, nephew Sam. And basically, you have to understand what a bullish fair value gap is, and you'll have to understand what a bearish five fair value gap is. But we're not going to cover that today. It's a whole other topic on YouTube. You can find out all that stuff. But you could use this indicator for now. So moving on to the daily, what do you notice about the price here is The price at the time of that supernova is here, right? This is where the supernova was. We were trading, let me erase this, in a daily fair value gap, which was bullish. Okay. So your bias on the high time frame is that it's bullish. Price is bullish because this candle, which is the daily candle, and there's 1 hour left to the New York close, it did not close over this gap. The body did not close on this side, which would make it an I fair value gap, which is a different, it's an inverted fair value gap, which is a different topic altogether. But it respected it with the body. And, mind you, it respected it down here. You were in it at the time of the supernova, I believe. Let's go over and have a peek. Okay, so this supernova that came out at 12:05 was here. So we'll just sort of do that so we can see it, right? Right here. Go to the daily again and have a look. And you can see that supernova, I don't know if it's going to let us see it. I'm going to have to put a price line in, was here. You can see you were trading in a bullish gap or leaving a bullish gap. So your bias is bullish, price going up, not down because of this. Then you can move down. We're just going to use these two time frames for now to teach the daily bias. And then you could see as well on the 4 hour, you have this bullish gap. You see it says 4 hour right here, and that 4 hour fair value gap is from this wick to this wick here, all the way over here. You can see it's right here. You're also trading a 4 hour fair value gap. So your bias is only buys, okay? Because you're trading and it's respecting this gap. We were actually trading right in it, and or we were, let's move this down, looking at price respecting it. One more time, back to the daily. That's the supernova entry. I don't know why that price isn't showing up, but you can see the picture of what's going on there, right? It's um it's the price is bullish. So um you want to trade with your bias first as the first rule of trading. And not only that, um, that trade could have worked out. It could have very well worked out. Oops, I'm sorry. And it could have went down because the trends are down and we don't know where price is going. But we're just going to stick with a bias and then we're going to stick with a trading model with your bias. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope the other thing, just one more thing I'd like to just go over quickly actually is you know, let's just look at the time here too, right? Very, very bad time to trade, right? You wanted to trade sort of back here, in the first 3 a.m. macros back here. Okay. So anyways, that's enough for today, just on the daily biased. Bullish gap means a bias of the day is the first thing you look at, and that trumps everything. So your bias was bullish, sorry, and that's what you're looking for is buys only by that criteria.